Good morning, everyone. It's very, very early. I got up again at 3 o'clock. What is that? I love just having my own time in the morning. It's so quiet. It is. It is. It's really quiet, and there's not much going on out there in the world right now here. And I love my time. I just love this quiet time, and just slowly wake up to the day. Yes, I have that freedom now to do so, and I'm doing it. I love doing that. Uh, so I'm gonna get this started and done. First, I want to talk about something I saw this morning. There's a family that also has a farm. It's a young family, and they have 8 children. And children all are involved with doing all kinds of things, and watching their videos here and there. I've learned to do things as well. Yeah, yes, yeah. You never learn that. And just love watching them as a family. I'm looking at them, going, Man, that's right there. That's God's ideal. Truly, God's ideal. So since they became a little bit famous, so one could say, making these videos, yes, which no doubt is probably also helping with the income, maybe. I'm good with that. Uh, they have some people go and interview them, right? Yeah. And the last reporter that was there, and they just showed about their life, this and that, and made a really negative article about them. Just horrible. And accused the husband of oppressing the wife and all that kind of jazz. So she made this other video after that saying it's all not true. This is just all humbug. And you just, gosh, what is people's purpose out there sometimes? What? Why go after good people? If this reporter is so concerned about the well-being of women and wives and mothers, well, go to the right places, and interview those people, and then really, yeah, they don't have the guts for that. Go after good people. Yeah, right? Yes. It's just horrible. We have our own story on that one, and it's not quite in the same. Yeah, okay, not quite in the same. We were almost fooled. Okay, I wasn't fooled. This woman comes, and she's a fiction writer, writes books or something. And she comes and she makes friends with my husband and my brother-in-law. And my father-in-law at the time was in the hospital, very, very sick. He was getting ready to pass the spirit world. But not quite then, not quite yet then, but he was 92 years old. And I guess he has some fame because of the chairs that he's made, these rocking chairs, of which a couple of our presidents also ended up having. And so anyway, so he gained some attention through that, and I guess she found him somehow or whatever, and came to visited him in the hospital, and then visited the sons, took her to the house that we called it the shack he lived in. And of course it looks, you go down some stones. This is in the woods, stone steps, then across a bridge, a high bridge, covered bridge over the creek. And then there's the house with and it's a small house. It's a very earthy house. I mean, it's really that basics. We lived there for a while before we had our house built. Loved it there too. It's amazing to live there. And she then got permission to use him as a character in her book. And then she came back and she showed us the introduction to the book, left it with us, and said, "Yeah, I'm using his name. I hope that's okay." And all the names right there, the county, everything. Right? So it would not have been all that difficult to figure out who her fictional character in that book actually was, where it was taken from a real person. So okay, so she leaves again. Everything's fine, and I ended up picking up this introduction. It was about 10 pages long. Yeah, 10 pages long introduction. Hello. And I started reading, and as I started reading, I thought, what the heck kind of book is this? And I kept reading. Turns out she used my father-in-law as the character, but in real life, the life of my father-in-law as a serial killer. And I was like, no. So I went to my husband and my brother-in-law and said, do you guys know what kind of book she's writing and what character your dad is actually in that book? Oh, that was it. She got a phone call to never show up again. And that if she used any kind of reference to our father-in-law, or my father-in-law, their father, that we would see her in court. That was the end of the book. Or maybe she went somewhere else and fooled someone. I find that absolutely disrespectful. If you want to write a fiction novel, then write a fiction novel and whatever. But if as a writer you have to go somewhere and take someone's life and then twist it around like that, then I think that's wrong. That's no. Besides, don't we have enough actual serial killers out there? We need to invent more of them and take a good man's life and twist it around like that. That's no. Anyway, that was our story here. We were very careful after that to really get the information. It's okay, you want to do what? And da 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 da. Anyway, so I find it just the audacity that people have out there to use someone else's life and then write some nasty, just absolute, in this family, absolute lies. And why? Why would a reporter go to a good family? I'm not talking about my father-in-law, myself now, the other one, and twist things up like this. Why? Because that's what people like to read. The harmony and peace and unity that the whole family has, and the unity of the husband and wife. What, that irks some out there? That's very sad. Well, anyway, so good for her. Oh, since we're reading the book of Job, all right, don't do that. I find one has to be careful when don't wish anything bad on anyone, right? Yes, don't do that. It sadly sometimes stuff like that comes true, and then you're what? Then you're responsible there too. Okay. But I don't know. Hopefully that reporter with the backlash. I hope there is some backlash, and maybe that reporter needs to rethink the job or get another job, because obviously that ain't the job for I don't know if it was a woman or a guy. Anywho, oh, made me upset. I mean, upset. Just I wonder why do people do that to perfectly good people? Why think? Oh, hey, in our case, oh, look, they live in the in the mountains, right? Kentucky. They gotta be dumber than a coal bucket. Right? Well, yeah. So, okay, this is just terrible. This is just awful. The way people treat each other, or some people think that they can treat others. Huh? Yeah, it's just awful. One should never be quiet about that. All right, it's wrong. Must pray for that reporter to be enlightened, to be the sun for people, not, I don't know what you call that. All right, we're in the book of Job 5. Make your appeal then. Will you find an answer? To which of the holy ones will you turn? So this is still Eliphaz of Teman talking to Job, being really sick with the sores. They all. Oh, wait. Let's back up. Make your appeal then. Will you find an answer? To which of the holy ones will you turn? Which of the holy ones? There are more than one? What's this now all about? Resentment kills the senseless, and anger brings death to the fool. Oh, I have seen the senseless taking root. When a curse fell suddenly on his house, his children are deprived of prop and stay, ruined at the gate, and no one to defend them. Their harvest goes to feed the hungry. God snatches it from their mouths. What's wrong with their harvest going to feed the hungry? And covetous people thirst for their possessions. Oh, that is true. People do. When you're not able to let go of something that's not yours anyway, in a way, then you start wanting more. I've seen that in people, and in a way, even in a game, I've seen that. I'm going, it's just a game. What does it matter? If you're helping someone out with something, or which in that particular case it was, and I'm going, it's just a game. Why hold on to something, hoard something in a game? Just saying. Yes, this is a good one. And covetous people thirst for their possessions. I need to write this one down. Out. Why? Because it's true. No, misery does not grow out of the soil, nor sorrow spring from the ground. Aha! It is people who breed trouble for themselves, as surely as eagles fly to the height. Can't. Yeah, listen, Eliphaz, I think some of it you got really right here. If I were you, I should appeal to God and lay my case before him. His works are great past all reckoning, marvels beyond all counting. He sends down rain to the earth, pours down water on the fields. If his will is to raise up the downcast or exalt the afflicted to the heights of prosperity, he frustrates the plans of the artful, so that they cannot succeed in their intrigues. Well, again, if that were true, yeah, well, as I always say, we have freedom of choice. God's not going to interfere. We have to come to the realization to want to be a better person, to do the right thing. What's the right thing? It's not that hard to figure it Yes. He traps the crafty in a snare of their own trickery, thro- thro- throws the plans of the cunning into disarray. In daylight they come up against darkness and grope their way as if noon were night. He rescues the bankrupt from their jaws, and the needy from the grasp of the mighty. Hope springs afresh for the weak, and wickedness must shut its mouth. None of that will happen on earth. It just doesn't. It's rare that that actually happens in this way, right? But once you go to spirit world, every bit of this is true. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. And again, even there, God does not interfere per se either. It's just in spirit world, the realms as they are set. And that is that. And then everything just comes to light. And everything can, and then there's some stuff has to stay in darkness. And that is that. Yes? Makes sense? Well, someday it will. Blessed are those whom God corrects. Blessed are those who listen. God doesn't correct. It's already, it's all there. There's no correction needed per se. It's just one has to abandon the old ways in a way. The secular world. Abandon that. Change your way of thinking. And then go with what God put in place. The Ten Commandments, the Lord's Prayer, and of course now the family pledge and the divine principle, or with the divine principle. There you go. Corrections, it's restoration. Well, those are kind of, no, corrections to me is something different. God doesn't correct us. He's trying to guide us. Yes? And we have to make the adjustments. Adjustments. I like that word better. Do not then scorn the lesson of Shaddai, for he who wounds is he who soothes the sore, and the hand that hurts is the hand that heals. Oh, that's, yeah, see, I disagree with that. I do not, no, yeah. But God's conflicted. Well, that needs to be corrected, so I'm going to have to hurt this person. But of course, at the same time, I'm going to be healing them while I'm, no. God does not work that way. Ah, 6 times. But I know it sounds good, right? It sounds good. Even the way I just said that. Yeah, but you just said, no, that's the wrong way of thinking. Our Heavenly Parent would never, ever hurt us. Ever. Never. Not even to correct us. Not even to heal us. What did Jesus do? Did he, according to what Eliphas here is saying, did Jesus do any of that? No, he didn't. Not one time, according to the Bible. Not one time did he hurt anyone. But he healed a lot. Huh? Say. Well, Jesus is not God. Yeah, well, created in the image of God, we all are, right? Yes? Okay, Jesus was too. All right. I'm not going to argue with people. If people want to understand this in a way that fits their purpose in life or their scenario or their narrative, huh? So that then they can do certain things that they full well know already is wrong, then what am I going to say about it? What am I going to do about it? Aha, right there. That's God. That's God. Right there. That's how I understand God. Hmm? He never hurt us. Never. Not in a gazillion years. We do that to ourselves. 6 times he will deliver you from sorrow, and the 7th time evil will not touch you. In time of famine he will save you from death, and in wartime from the stroke of the sword. You will be safe from the lash of the tongue, unafraid at the approach of the despoiler. When people have anxieties, depression, stressed out, this snap, what do they lack? Strength. Why do they lack strength? Do I have the answer to that? No, not in the way that, is there a cure? No, it's practice. There are people out there in the world, they go through horrific things, and yet they've never given up. They were trodden down on, and they just start to build up again with the teeny tiny little that they have, and prosper again. Just saying. Or at least survive. Do you know what I mean? So the thing is that no, God doesn't do this or that or whatever, but the guidance that we are getting from God is doing what for us? It's making us stronger in our will, in our own will. It's making us stronger in making better choices. Yes? Anyway, we survived. We survived for so long, mankind did, and we don't seem to be dwindling. Yes? Just saying. So, so people who are depressed, isn't it? Well, there's a reason for that. I know that there is also often a spiritual reason, but again, all of that can only be, in a way, start to change. Restoration begins. People start to truly acknowledge God in their life. That's that. It's not that hard to figure it out. And when you go out there and you have a look at people who truly carry that love of God within their heart, you know it's true. I can't help the fakers. Met plenty of them too. Oh, you believe in God. You do, but then why are you doing this or that? And then it comes out. For some, it's just a habit to believe in God. That's not it either. Okay? Yeah. But anyway, so just saying. The guidance is there, but God's not doing any of it. Not going to do it for us. Not going to happen. Right? Yes? You will laugh at drought and frost. You have no fear of the beasts of the earth. You will have a pact with the stones of the field, and live in amity with wild beasts. You will know that your tent is secure, and your sheepfold unharmed when you inspect it. You will see your descendants multiply, your offspring grow like the grass in the fields. At a ripe age you will go to the grave, like a wheat sheaf stacked in due season. All this we have observed, and it is so. Heed it, you will be the wiser for it. Okay, it's already all this happened to Job, and I'm not sure why Eliphaz is telling that all to Job. So it really wasn't told to Job. It's told to the rest of us. Or to the people there. Eliphaz sounds like a little bit of what? A priest? Preacher or something, right? Teacher, preacher. Yeah. So it's a little bit odd on how this is directed towards Job, though Job's probably like, okay, how am I going to do that? I'm already advanced now. I already lost all my children. So what descendants are you talking about? Besides, let's remember again, right? This is supposed to be what? A fight between God and Satan, right? Oh, is Job going to do this or that or I don't know what? So here Eliphaz telling him all this kind of useless stuff. Just saying. Okay. All right. Job is in the depths of despair now. He hates his life. Everything's gone. And in a way, come on now. And I thought about that yesterday. Just like, let's give the guys a, how do you say, some breathing space here. Right? He's not feeling well. He just went through all this personal grief. Now he's got all this physical pain and stuff going on, you know? And then you got, well, dear me, can I just have a day where I'm not being all happy and sunshine? I'm feeling pretty rough here, you know? It doesn't mean I don't believe in God anymore. Just leave me alone. Right? Yes? Uh, I don't know. I'm starting to think, man, what sense does this story even make? And again, is this stuff all in here to, what did I say? What did I start out with, right? People just trying to destroy good people's works, good people's lives, right? With some nasty, just nasty, untrue narrative of what exactly, right? And in a way here, when I read all this again, it's like, well, I don't want to be God's slave. It sounds like you have to be a slave to God, not grow towards God with love and sorrow. With love always comes sorrow. It's just, it makes so much sense to me, right? That just goes hand in hand. But when you love, there's no need for despair to follow. Right? Sorrow to me is just acknowledging that when you love something or someone and then there's a separation, you're going to feel that too, right? But that doesn't have to be negative. Again, it just depends on how we carry it, right? How we decide to view certain events in our lives, right? And to never forget that at the end of the tunnel, what's waiting for you, actually. Great embrace. Anyway, so there it is. Basically, I think what Eliphaz is trying to say, even though he's saying it again in a way, I have to say, okay, he's just trying to encourage Job, right? Yes? Sometimes when we try to encourage others, we get so possessed by zeal that not all of it comes out right. And, well, we'll learn from that. We learn from that as well. Some encouragement is better than none at all, right? Well, I don't know what you did, but, that right there again, right? Yes? And, supposedly they're friends, right? Yes? Yeah. But anywho, poor Joe. If the story is fictional, it's not true. The story never happened. It's a masterpiece of poetry. But people do suffer out there. And I'm going to finish with this story. Saw a child. She was born. She was a few months old, happy, smiling. Then they found a tumor in her brain. And they showed a little bit of the progression on how she became less and less aware, this and that, and it was just absolutely sad to watch. But one could also see the interaction that the parents had, the grandparents had with her, until no doubt she passed away. 2 years old maybe or something, it looked like she was at the end, 2 or 3. And I have no doubt that they loved this little girl every moment they had with her. And in a way, that love was reciprocated. 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 By just the care that the people gave to this little girl. It's a little hard to describe that and how that works, but that's amazing love to me. Man. Amazing love. Anyway, where love and sorrow are literally right there together. But I remember when I sat at hospice with a baby. He was just, gosh, how old was his name? Was Elijah. He was just a few days old, a week old maybe. And there was too much brain damage. You couldn't tell anything on the outside. The baby looked beautiful. Looked healthy and beautiful. Couldn't tell. And the love that this baby generated, the son this baby was, in that hospice that I was volunteering at for the 11th hour. That's when people are dying, actively dying. Was amazing. There was a baby. This is a tiny, tiny little baby that was dying. And the love this little thing created, generated, among all the people there. The nurses would come from the hospital. The hospital was really cool. The nurses would come from the hospital. There were, I don't know how many nurses in that room every time. And it was amazing. That room was filled with love. I will never forget that. And yet this little one was dying. It was dying. Sometimes he would open his eyes a little bit, and never cried, didn't cry. Amazing. Amazing to see that. Amazing to be a part of that. I'm going to leave you with that. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you and embrace you with love. And I will, God willing, talk to you up tomorrow.